Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here on twitch.tv/Paladins Game for the finals in North America for the Evie's Winter Classic. My name is Rain Day, and of course, I'm joined by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. And we are so excited to be bringing you this culmination of action that all of these teams have been working for, and the champions teams have been eagerly awaiting. Pun intended there. Eager will be facing off later on today. But first, before we get into the matchups or the bracket, we've got stuff that we're giving away again. Make sure that you know how to enter into those giveaways, Nick, because you can get some cool stuff.
Tell us
800
how.
crystals could be yours.
How
If
do we do
in
it?
chat on Twitch, somebody types !giveaway, only need to type that once, and then you can go into the MooBot link and actually click there to enter your info on Gleam. Or if you want to access that on YouTube, take that link, copy it, paste it into your browser, and you'll be able to actually go to that link there and follow up. So if that seemed like it was all and the holiday season of giving was over, it's not. In fact, people who have linked their Twitch accounts and Hi-Rez accounts already should have just received something for watching this stream. That's right. If you link your Twitch TV and Hi-Rez account, you will be able to go ahead and get free in-game rewards. We just gave away 60 Radiant chests right now to people who already have this linked. So make sure you do it so you do not miss the next one. Go to hirezstudios.com/link, and we'll be sure to let chat know when things are given away throughout the day. But without that, Nick, it would still be a fantastic evening of giving because we've got so many great games that these people are going to enjoy.
That's right. We're going to head on over to the bracket screen and break it down for you. The first matchup of the day that we will be spectating is going to be Match Point versus Vertu. And you can see all the matchups here. Fake Out versus Xenacy, Team Eager and versus Vex Gaming on the bottom side of the bracket. And then finally down there, last but not least, Team AGG versus Astral Authority. That will be the other match that we spectate during the quarterfinals round.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great teams here, Nick, both trying to make their claim. I would feel, actually, that North America is such a tight region, maybe even more so than Europe. There are a lot of great teams coming through. Astral Authority sticks to mind. We know how Fake Out and Team AGG were basically neck and neck in the champion circuit, and so we're excited to see which teams have made strides. As we head into this first game, Matchpoint versus Vertu, let's check out what maps will be banned. Matchpoint elects to ban Ice Mines, and Vertu doesn't want to play on Fish Market. So Jaguar Falls is where these two teams will meet up for round one.
Yep, we normally see Ice Mines. Burrito banned out Ice Mines even in their earlier sets. That map is just kind of interesting how it gives the, I don't want to say the worst team, but the underdogs the advantage there because it is so hard to convert. So it can push it to a 3-3 scenario very early, but we will not be seeing that today. Jaguar Falls is the choice. We are ready to head into the champion draft. See Match Point for the first time in months.
It feels like forever since we've seen it, and if you've been following the Twitter drama or if you've been following anything in the Paladins esports scene, there's a man here who is a popular streamer, Stolzey. He goes by the name of, who's been claiming that he and his team are #1 in the world. Europe doesn't feel too much for that. They don't care too much about that comment, but North America so far has had nothing to say against them. Matchpoint have been dominant in their performances game in and week out. And I'm sure they're looking to continue their winning ways.
Definitely, and they will make Cassie as their first selection. Vertu answering back with Fernando and Sha-Lin. That's probably the earliest I feel like I've ever seen Sha-Lin go in the draft.
Yeah, it's a very early pickup for them, maybe because of the fact that they're looking at Sha-Lin just being a very good pick right now. North America tends to favor some picks that Europe doesn't, and so you may see different, characters and champions here on Sunday favored more so than Saturday. It could look like a completely different tier list in North America, and that's why we haven't even seen Evie yet, and we're 5 picks deep, and that never would have happened in EU yesterday.
Very interesting. Like we mentioned, we haven't seen Matchpoint play in quite some time, so we don't know. Maybe the Sha-Lin is something Vertu's trying to take away from them. They will get both of the top-tier frontliners and Evie. Fernando, Makoa, and Evie on the same squad.
And Matchpoint, though, they bring so much skill to the table, so many flexes for that Cassie. He could go to so many different champions. Androxus, you would anticipate Stolzey to be on, but he could play Cassie. Kusqt can play Cassie. Kusqt can play Androxus. Kusqt can play Maldamba. doesupz can play Cassie. Anybody on this roster can do what they need to do, but expect WarDoom to be on that ruckus. He loves those frontliners. He is pretty much that standard support tank role, and that Bomb King is looking scary. doesupz on his favorite god right there.
Definitely. Two picks I feel like doesupz could be playing right there. They get the Drogos as well.
Cassie or Bomb King.
Could be on, doesupz extremely good Cassie, extremely good Bomb King. But like you mentioned, probably going to be doesupz on the Bomb King. Probably going to be Cuss. On the Cassie or the Maldamba, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly could see. It's interesting. We'll have to wait. We're getting in a game, so we won't have to guess too much about this. Smidgen will be on the Maldamba. Kusqt is on the Cassie. Stolzey's on that Androxus. He wants to prove that Perdo didn't get the better hand over him yesterday as the best player in the world on this champion. WarDoom will be on Ruckus using that nice skin there. And, of course, doesupz on the Bomb King. Watch out for this one.
For Vertu, we're going to have Acids on Evie, very famous player champion combo there from the Challenger Circuit. nveeus on Makoa Islands, on Drogos Bimok, on Fernando, Kwazi on Shaolin. They are holding their credits. nveeus just now getting into their cauterized Acids, now snagging the Haven. 3 members still have yet to make their selections. Kusqt is going to grab the Chronos to get that roll cooldown as low as possible, likely to be running Incitement. Smidgen's going for Blast Shield. Stolzey's got cauterized. Then we got Double Wrecker.
And they're going to be trying to finish off that Evie. Don't want her to get that healing off on the flicker. Already a huge engagement here. First blood goes to doesupz on Acids, and the Bomb King already paying dividends for match point. And look at this. He's assaulting the turtle. doesupz with a double kill to start. And Shaolin is the next one in his sights. Can the Bomb King control the court here over the Desert Wind? It's a 1v1 here. Kwazi gets poppy bombed in the air. Great display of technique by doesupz to stall out the fight, but Acids picks him up in the background, and stolzey here looking to clean up what doesupz started.
Definitely 57% on the capture point. And like we mentioned, or like I speculated, Bomb King could be an unforeseen force, especially against this Evie first pick meta right now. 72% on the capture point or match point, but currently in control in the driver's seat is Vertu.
Wow, that's a huge shot by Acid. She's going to force stolzey into an interesting spot. She could take him down. Kwazi gets the kill onto doesupz, and now WarDoom trying to move into an advanced position to make sure they cannot heal back up. This Wrecker composition is good, but Kwazi takes down stolzey. Acid takes down Kusqt here. WarDoom is trying to do his best. Maldamba looks for the heal, but he cannot get it enough. This is a collapse here by match point. Vertu seem to have retaken the objective, and now are zoning with 81% on the objective.
87 and climbing. No one from match point is anywhere near. Stolzey's coming around the left flank, but there's nothing that can be done. They don't have the frontline presence to break in there. Ruckus is a very momentum-based pick, and when he gets completely stumped, as they were in this previous team fight, there's just not a lot that can be done.
Ruckus can be very powerful in these close quarters, but also he needs to operate with support, and if Maldamba loses sight of him for a second, they are going to get burned down. That Shaolin planted so good, but also burning down the shields of Fernando and Makoa as the Wrecker gets going for a match point with doesupz, with Kusqt, obviously with WarDoom. It's going to be very hard for those tanks to buy as much survivability as it did in this first round. doesupz died, and that kind of led to the ultimate demise of match point there, but he gets another kill, and this Bomb King doing work, but not enough work to go against Acids there. He takes down doesupz. stolzey misses a couple of shots on the accursed arm, looks for the headshot, but he gets pressured by Acids, who takes away stolzey's life yet again. And Evie looking very dominant in this game.
Acids is tearing them apart. They only had one pickup of Blast Shield. That's going to be on Smidgen playing that Maldamba. Kusqt finally shuts it down, has had enough. They need to look to their Bomb King, I feel like. Smidgen, if you look at Bomb King, just in a raw DPS matchup, Bomb King can two-shot Evie. Evie needs 3 to take down the Bomb King, so I'm looking at Doe to take him down.
I really like the way Kusqt is playing this Cassie. He's got no fear. You can tell match point there, just not hesitant at all. He's going to expect the wormhole, I think, and use the roll to get the bonus shot damage there and put him in a great spot to not get pressured from the Fernando at the same time. Kusqt doing so many things. He's on a rampage right now. This Cassie cannot be stopped. The Hunter's Daughter is really on fire here, except Fernando can't be the one to add fire to the flames because he misses his fireball, and though Acids is pressuring, Kusqt is being so aggressive on this left-hand side. I think it's a great look for match point.
Grumpy Bomb comes out to zone, but nobody will be within range of that. King Bomb still available as well. 30 seconds remaining here on this payload push. Hexafire is up as well. Just trying to find an angle is Vertu right now. Relying on Acids Evie to just try and get a pick as he done so well in all these previous fights.
And it doesn't really matter if you are in the ability to kind of grab that first point off a match point. If you can't push it anywhere, you kind of put yourself in a bad spot, especially with this heavy tank comp. Those Wreckers going to pile up later on, as we mentioned, and have a big impact. The item selection so imperative, so phenomenally effective here in changing the game state and Paladins, and so they will be looking to maximize that as this game potentially pushes into this final moment. Overtime is ticked on, and so they have to stay near this payload if they want to contest. doesupz and stolzey going to finish off the Fernando. BMOC goes down, Acids goes down thanks to the Bomb King, and it looks like this court will be left in session for match point, continuously pressured by the Makoa and allowing them the time for Fernando to potentially get back.
nveeus, Kwazi, and Islands all participating in kills now. Dragon Punch is available. This push is still alive. Vertu have a lot of ultimates to commit. Every single ultimate is online for them. Dragon Punch going to be very important. If they can land that on WarDoom's Ruckus, it's going to shatter match point's front line. They don't have what it takes to survive or sustain through that no mortal on their side, but Matchpoint have a lot of ultimates to respond with.
And speaking of Wrecker, such a good counter to Ruckus as well. You mentioned not having a front line. He cannot be in this position where he's got to withstand 5 members shooting at him. He really needs to get that freedom, and though the defense is successful because the overtime push took too long, it is not looking secure yet for Matchpoint. Based on how Vertu have played, Acids is really showing up today, Nick.
Absolutely. Leading the damage chart is going to be Kwazi on that Shaolin. Shaolin and Drogos, I feel, have been the most impactful on these damage charts, oftentimes leading by large margins here, only about 5,000 above Kusqt, but even still, Kwazi going with that Wrecker, going with the Haven. Islands goes for the early life rip as well as Kusqt. Kusqt is all fleshed out here. All 4 categories of items have been started, so we will know what he is going to be going. He's just going to be upgrading those 2 Master Ridings, 1 for WarDoom, 1 for doesupz. Important to get in there, get those Grumpy Bombs to shut down some of the entrances. Jaguar Falls, very tight control point, and so you're able to shut down entire corridors with things like Grumpy Bomb.
And now here's where the point advantage could start. Cassie doesn't have the ultimate available, but she and her teammates looking to flank on match point, wanting to recover a little bit of the ego maybe that had been lost there. stolzey misses 1. Is he going to find another? Misses 3, hits it into the shield and cannot slay down any of the damage champions. So an accursed arm used for the spatial awareness to separate them, but the Dragon's Punch comes here. They're trying to kill him, and stolzey hops over. What a play! Gets over the Dragon Punch, avoids it completely. Islands goes down thanks to WarDoom, and the time wasted with that ultimate. Kusqt finishes off Acids, and Matchpoint with some acrobatics show that they are not out of this and need to be at the top spot.
69% for Vertu, and now Matchpoint in total control of the zone. Doesn't see nveeus' Makoa over to this side here, but if they lose this capture point, I think we can draw a pretty clear conclusion as to why.
Oh yeah, that Dragon Punch was just a little bit off the mark there. And of course, when you have a Dragon Punch now and no big beefy targets like that, a nice Sunday we gonna go and help stolzey slay Acids. This is huge. The carry battle has been won, and WarDoom actually still in this fight, wailing away with those machine guns and helping doesupz to stay alive. Kusqt and Shaolin battling, and the invisibility does not hide him from stolzey's sight, and so Androxus gets the kill. Matchpoint get the objective, and it's 2-1 for the #1 team in North America.
Yeah, so 2 major flaws in that fight for Vertu that could have resulted in them having this capture point again. One of them obviously being that Dragon Punch. stolzey, after being hooked while in lethal range for Makoa, was actually able to bob and weave about 2 or 3 shots, just throwing out defiances the whole time there. Using that reversal to navigate his way out of the ice storm as well. Almost sitting at a cursed arm, landing every shot.
Aimbot, dude. He used the reversal to reset the nether step. Knew that as he was holding spacebar and drifting down, he could still use that mechanic to move at his own pace because of the cripple from the ice storm, and then hits that reversal onto Evie. She's not expecting to be the aggressed on person there, and allows him to another step away and grab the double kill. stolzey proving that he is not one to be messed with, and he comes from so high. Kwazi doesn't even see him. The accursed arm is ready, and watch out for 2. This could be stolzey looking to snowball this big time. A nice blink from Acids will stay his life of execution, but Kusqt will finish him off in the end. stolzey slays nveeus, and this is looking like a 3-1 for Matchpoint. The push is successful, and with 9 minutes and 18 seconds gone in the game, Matchpoint are this close to winning game 1.
Using a couple volts there. Hexafire was used as well as King Bomb, now fleshing out completely his items is going to be doesupz and Islands as well. Kill the heal for Islands, kill the heal for doesupz. Blast shields too, respecting all of the damage coming from the Drogos. and the Evie. Now leading the damage charge is going to be doesupz on that bombkin coming roaring back after being down in the 4th or 5th position.
That's hard to do.
In the previous round, it certainly is. Kusqt now with the Chronos 2 online, stolzey with the Cauterize 2, looking to shut down what little sustain there is on Vertu. We're looking at things from Evie, the Flicker cards. We're looking at the Tidal Graces from Makoa. No dedicated healer, but it will be affecting those healing cards, those life rips coming from Kwazi and Islands.
Yeah, the sustain. It's a very interesting kind of choice, but I love the way that they're thinking even beyond. Kind of that healing you don't think about is what Matchpoint is countering and factoring into their item selection in this game. And all of a sudden, you see the Wreckers paying so many dividends now, forcing the Immortal out. Here comes Drogoz, but he's going to get sniped in the air. stolzey takes down the Dragon with a shot from the revolver. And Matchpoint, although losing 46% onto this objective, are so ready to snowball this in their favor. They've taken out the main targets. The Makoa is trying to escape back to the water, but it seems like no safe haven for the ancient Raging Turtle. And now stolzey has his sights on acids, and those sights, baby, are accurate as ever. Matchpoint, 47%, and the objective in their control.
They're playing around these tanks. We need to see the frontliners from Vertu get off the point. They're going to lose these fights every time. They are getting 62% on the capture point, but they're losing the fight. They're losing their carries in such dramatic fashion every time. There feels like no cover. Go out and try and peel for that Drogoz. Try and get him out once he lands the Dragon Punch, chewing through that Fernando.
Oh my God.
Grumpy Bomb against doesupz is a death sentence.
Oh, and what an advance there. Great heads-up play by WarDoom. Knew the Fire Spit was coming out. He wanted to knock him off the edge, baits it out, uses the advance to get himself back on to the ledge, and overtime ticks down. Matchpoint will secure this with outplaying, outpicking in terms of items, and simply out-aiming in terms of stolzey, finding his rhythm towards the end of that game, making it towards the top of the damage charts, but still Kusqt ends up the king of that one, 56,999. So many dangerous players here on this team.
All the carries from Matchpoint within 1,000 of each other. Shout outs to the 20 streak from Kusqt, 26 streak from WarDoom, and 15 on stolzey, showing that they are still the top dogs in this scenario. But, you know, we were seeing promise from Vertu.
Yeah.
They took the first point off of Matchpoint. They stuck to their picks. They played them efficiently. They zoned out Matchpoint there. And it was a great execution of their composition. I think if they have things landing like their Dragon Punches, then we're going to be okay if on Vertu.
Yeah, he didn't land. I mean, it actually,
two.
Islands didn't land 2, and that was big. That was a huge switch. But again, they don't have those kind of super susceptible targets, right? Everything is damage, and they just had their game plan ready to go. So when you head to the map screen to see where they'll play game 2, that game plan is going to be so imperative. Speaking of, you know, letting them draft Makoa, letting them draft Fernando, and then just saying, we're going to grab Wreckers. Late game, you're not going to mess with us. We're going to kill Drogoz before. We're not going to worry about running away from it. We're all just going to shoot them. And it just seemed like they had a superior understanding of what they wanted to do in that game.
Yeah, they were comfortable giving up both of the premier frontliners in this situation because they're going to be able to go into those Wreckers. I believe we saw Doomsday on doesupz as well, that Grumpy Bomb hitting for about 3,200 damage.
Yikes.
On Fernando's shield. That's going to be roughly, you know, 30–40% of it. We're ready for the champion draft. We'll see if Vertu want to make up any switches. If Matchpoint are comfortable with what they got, and they're just going to run it back.
Yeah, I actually love the strategy we saw earlier with the synergy from the Ruckus and the Bomb King and the Wreckers particularly, because as Fernando charged in, it was just a bait, you know, 3 shots.
Yeah.
He throws a Grumpy Bomb down, he's safe with the shield, but 3 shots, the shield's gone, and he's like, oh, I thought I had that, gets stunned, and the high DPS from Ruckus really worked out for WarDoom. But he likes to play Fernando too, and that's off the board. Vertu take that again. Will they take another frontliner? Will they grab the Evie here? There's a lot of decisions to be made on Serpent Beach, and Shaolin, again for Kwazi, seems to be their preferred pick.
Was a very impactful pick in that first fight. Led the damage charts in the first round. Kwazi very on with this Shaolin pick. The stealth was paying dividends. He stealthed himself out of an accursed arm, I believe. He only took 1 shot from it. stolzey's going to get that one back. Matchpoint look like they're just content.
Are they going to salty run this back?
To snag their draft back thus far. Still have 1 pick left in this phase. Malzamba, that's going to be the same as the previous round.
I mean, if I'm Matchpoint, I'm saying it worked. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Vertu, you're the one who has to make some adjustments. Let's see what happens here. So far, nothing. But again, in Vertu's mind, if I'm getting in their heads and I see them pick the same comp here, they do switch it up. But even if they didn't, I'm thinking maybe they just felt, you know, we could win this. We got 1 point. We didn't play right. We missed our Dragon Punches. We feel confident that if we get another go at it, we can even things up.
Yep, they're going to grab the Evie and the Victor. Evie, one of the better champions, killing Victor, but so is Kusqt's Buck.
The Victor. I like how you said that.
I imagine
the
yeah,
Victor.
I imagine that it will be Kusqt on the buck here. doesupz might be on the Cassie this time around.
Yeah.
Island's going to be getting that Drogos back once again. See if he can land some of them Dragon Punches this time, boy.
And, of course, we have only the game to tell us where each player will end up on what champion. It's game 2 coming up, match point versus Vertu. Match point have the advantage so far. And as it looks here, Smidgen will be on the Maldamba. Kusqt will be on the Buck. WarDoom, he'll be on Makoa. Stolzey on the King of the Skies. And doesupz will be on the Hunter's Daughter, Cassie herself.
He's pretty terrifying on this character. Acid's going to be on Evie. Kwazi on the Desert Wind. BMOC on Fernando. nveeus on Victor. And Islands on the Dragon Lord himself.
The ability for doesupz to go from a blaster to a hard carry on Haven, on a direct damage dealer, whether it's a projectile, it doesn't matter what it is. doesupz fills such an important flex role for match point. And he on this Cassie is going to be phenomenal if he continues his ways of old. Looking to use this long line of sights to zone out. This is where Cassie can be so strong. And already Kusqt with the aggression gets the kill. doesupz finds a kill on Acid. So speaking of the devil, he goes ahead and shows his horns. And it is not a pretty sight for Vertu. 2 of their main carries are down. And WarDoom slays BMOC. That's the front line. That's the tank. And Stolzey's got his sights set on Victor and Drogos. And we all know how that story ended before it even started.
Yep, trying to get this Evie down. Acid's going to be
He
able to
wants it.
narrowly escape
He
onto the
got
high
it.
ground with the snap
Oh.
headshot as he comes around. Going to block that fireball, send it right back at Fernando. Doesn't get the shield up in time, and now Stolzey is going to win this boxing match.
Dude, he's headshotting Fernando every single time. Normally, Fernando can win that fight because of the constant pressure. His reversal was down, but Stolzey just literally headshots him for that extra damage, and it makes all the difference in that engagement. That's what it is being Stolzey, man, and he goes in trying to dash away, but Islands has a present for him there. The fire spit, pretty hard to miss in that type of an area.
Ooh, the no-look cannonball from downtown. 99% match point and total control of this one. But Vertu have now returned. doesupz going to clean up another kill. Fernando is all alone here. Going to be snake stunned out, served up the hot pasta.
Yeah, nice stun there by Smidgen as well. Being able to use that good roll by doesupz, gets the extra life steal, helps to stay alive. Stolzey slays Acid yet again, and it looks like match point will clean up the objective capture. They forgot to stand on it, Nick. They're just having so much fun killing everyone. Kusqt throws out a BM there with the emote, and they're just having a blast on this map.
One of the big things right now that I'm seeing separating the champion circuit teams from the challenger circuit team is the ability to take out EVs after the ice block. These guys know we saw a lot of missed shots, a lot of missed opportunities on EVs yesterday coming out of ice block, being able to escape. In particular, Burrito, Lazy, and Bird were escaping on their EVs, but not in this scenario. Stolzey and the boys know exactly the timing when they're likely to come out of that ice block. And even if they have the reaction, and to get those headshots almost every time is very important.
Oh yeah, Stolzey, I mean, you talk about aim. There's so many different components. Hitting your target is one thing, but hitting them in the head, gaining that extra value, changing the way a fight should go, that is what Stolzey can do so well for a team. That type of aim is just something that is unbelievably strong. And somehow, with 194 health, Buck gets out of this one. He knows the wormhole's coming, but he can't stop Acids, but guess who can? Stolzey, he finds her with the pop shot from behind, and that's a 2-0 lead for match point against Vertu.
So taking a look at some of the items being purchased as we go into round 2, the credits are going to be in favor of match point. The economy on their side, WarDoom with the Master Riding 2 already. doesupz getting fleshed out in 3 categories, Wrecker, Chronos, and Blast Shield. Still wanting to respect that damage coming from Evie and Drogos. Those are the characters that are likely to be focusing him down, as well as the Wrecker, just to chew through that Fernando shield a little bit faster. Cassie scaling very well with that card. Haven 2 is going to be the selection for Stolzey, looking to negate some of the damage coming from Victor, coming from Kwazi. Those are the direct damage sources on Vertu's side. He is leading the damage charts comfortably, 23,000, followed only by Kusqt's Buck, and then actually Fernando. Tank leading the charge is never quite what you want to see.
No, it's never quite what you want, but what you do want to see if your match point is Stolzey getting a little bit of coverage there, and that's what he's got. He goes into hiding, and Droxus does not want to be the king of the skies at this exact moment. The Dragon Punch slays Kusqt, and nveeus does take down doesupz, so this is what they missed for so much of last game. And is WarDoom going to hit it? He doesn't do it in time, and Fernando puts the shield up, and now nveeus able to help himself. The Shell Spin will heal him for a bit, keep WarDoom alive, and now Kusqt back in the fight, but 46% and counting on the objective for Vertu.
That's just them expending ultimates, though. They should get control of it when they go in with their ults, but now Matchpoint have the chance to respond.
They're
Ancient
backing
Rage,
off.
Dread Serpent, almost the Accursed Arm is ready to go. Kusqt looking for a way in there. We see WarDoom and Smidgen in there now. Here comes the plan, but stolzey just gonna get the double kill there. Kusqt just knows that's not when he wants to trade. He backs off, lets his homie finish it up.
stolzey just knows the direction of that withdraw so well. He's able to just anticipate exactly where he's going to end up. Of course, he might have been close enough to see him in the stealth, but it just felt like the reaction was unparalleled for someone trying to look and see where it was. Seems like he knew that from instinct. That's going to take down the Victor. That Accursed Arm won't miss. He's going to get some extra damage onto the Fernando. That's going to be a kill. Reset the nether step, and now he's in the air again. He saves one just to be able to gain some extra height, and Acids goes down to doesupz, who was patiently waiting as a hunter's daughter to tackle the prey that had been cornered by his buddy. And as they both go hunting, 99% on the objective and a 3-0 lead for match point.
They just don't miss. stolzey getting those chip shots, 200 to 300 damage, no matter where you show your face, starts to add up over time. It gives a very big margin for the boys like Kusqt and especially doesupz to just roll in there. One shot is all they will need to clean up stolzey's seconds.
Again, man, I love stolzey aiming for the head. And remember, we do just have only 2 games to move past this, Nick, so this could be the end for Matchpoint. Put them into the semifinals and where we all expected them to be. A double kill for Kusqt on the buck, jumps up, uses the Chronos to give him a little bit of extra time to get back into that heroic leap. And now, given this, we have the Ancient Rage available for WarDoom. He may not even need it, though, Nick. They have been so dominant on this push.
Here comes the barrage, trying to make a stabilization play. Ancient Rage going to come out here, cleaning up one on the islands, looking to get back in there on to nveeus. Actually, Shell spins him back into his spawn, but there was a very big presence there to leave the spawn. He's going to be holding it down. 1 minute, 24 seconds remain for this final 10 meters of the push.
That's right. As Matchpoint look to cement their place into the semifinals, it's going to be up to Acids and his ultimate to stop them. Kusqt takes down nveeus, but WarDoom goes down. Kusqt gets a double. doesupz gets one onto Acids, and now it is just the Dragon who can try and do it, but they kill him again in mid-flight. This Dragon has no business being on the battlefield with Matchpoint aiming at him, and just to put the icing on the cake, stolzey with the Master's Border goes ahead and Accursed Arms down onto his opponents, but the win has already been achieved. 10 minutes and 30 seconds it took them to win on Serpent Beach, and that will put them through to the semifinals.
A good showing, though, from Vertu. They show they have what it takes to take fights off Matchpoint, to take capture points off of Matchpoint, but once they get figured out, get into those late game items, the fact they just don't miss a lot of those shots, it's going to outweigh all of that. 27-2 for the Godslayer, 45,000 damage, leading the charge by about 10,000 over anyone in the game. Bit of an issue there for the boys on Vertu.
Awesome. And we're going to go into the next game for this quarterfinal. We're going to go to the lower end of the bracket and be able to see who will be facing off next. And I believe it will be Team AGG versus Astral Authority. These two